You this Sunday afternoon, which is very unusual for me to actually be streaming on a Sunday afternoon, but I've got the opportunity to sit and do a little bit of work on this painting, so I thought I'd let you join me. I hope you're having a good day. It's a bit rainy outside today, it's a bit wet, not terribly, but a bit grey. But in here, it's nice. We've got a lot happening here down on the painting in front of me. Let's show you the whole thing first and foremost. There we go. That's the painting that I've been working on. You've probably seen it turning up on your Facebook feed or your Twitter feed or whatever you're following me on. And you will have seen me over the past few weeks. I mean, this is one of those paintings that's turned into a marathon rather than a sprint. I mean, it was always going to take time. It's a large, detailed painting. But the last month or so has been absolutely crazy. I had internet problems for a whole month, more or less, which meant that I couldn't stream. But added to that, my back went twice. And totally immobilised me for a couple of weeks out of the month. So it's been chaos, to be perfectly honest. But I am back now, thank goodness. So that's a good thing. And here we are. This is the area that we're working on. This is the final detailed part of the painting. When this is completed, it will just be a matter of looking over the whole thing and just pulling things here and there to make sure that the whole thing just gels together. Because sometimes when you paint in this detailed sort of way, you can end up with slight variations that you want to sort out afterwards. So it's important after at the end just to look at it and go, yeah, that I'll make that better, and pull that there, and pull that together here, and pull that together there, that sort of thing. Since the last time I streamed, I have actually done some work on it. I think the last time I streamed, we had done this bit. I can't remember whether we started work on it. I don't think we had. So I've done most of this since the last time that we streamed. And I'll tell you now, all the masking fluid that I put on is still in place. So there are areas here that will look totally different when the masking fluid comes off. For the moment, this is all very stripy and liney, but that is going to change. And the tonal quality of this will change once I've got the masking fluid off and I start to put a few washes over it. So what I'm going to do, I think, first and foremost, is I'm going to carry on working on the areas under the canopy here and the canopy floor, and probably in the background here where there's actually a vehicle parked and we've got a bit of grass, and get this area blocked in, and then take off the masking fluid and pull things together. This will look much better and look different once the masking fluid's off, as will this here. So we'll just make a start, eh? If you saw, I don't know whether you see it there, let's have a look on the overhead camera again. You can see on the overhead camera, you can see at the moment, you can see part of my my palette here and my paints in the box, and you will notice that the actual main palette here is still dirty, as are these. They were clean when I started, but these are the colours that I've already used in the painting. And so unless I need to introduce a whole new colour or a whole new shade, just wetting different areas of this are going to give me the majority of the colours and tones that I'm going to need to complete the rest of this part of the painting. In the end, we will work over here and we will work on Lulu, this lovely VW camper. In which case we will need to probably clean off some of the palette and get the tones sorted out to work on Lulu. But for the moment, the palette stays dirty. I call it, I mean, that's straightforward, I call it dirty palette painting. Because all these colours here, after you've been working on them for a while, they become shades of grey. Different shades of grey, as I want to call it, you know. Not the perfect kind. This is actual paintings we're talking about here. What I'm saying is that these colours are not, they're not pure. They're not straight out the box. They're not even mixes necessarily. They've amalgamated and come together over the time that I've been working on this painting. So at the moment, I'm keeping them because they are the base of what I'm working on and what I'm doing. So let's go to the close-up again and start putting some paint on. The chat room, by the way, is open. If anybody wants to talk to me, I am only too happy to converse with you as I paint. I enjoy chatting to people. I know people watch this feed from all over the world, which I find very exciting. And I love it when there are people talking to me simultaneously from Texas and Washington State and what was I had the other day? Brunei in Southeast Asia, Bangalore in India. Everybody can be on at the same time. Sometimes I've had people on in South Africa and Australia all at once. Hello, Marshaz, again from the other day. I remember. How are you? Okay. Now I've got to try and remember your real name. It began with Z, didn't it? Was it you that began with Z? Remind me. I'm fine. Let's put it this way. Life can be doing whatever life is doing, but as soon as I sit down and I pick up a paintbrush, life is fine. Let's put it that way. Every little cares of the world will drift away. Zero, I knew it began with Z. I remember. It's you that's in Brunei, yes? I think. Do you know, I talk to so many people that I do have to try and remember these things, but it's only polite to try and remember, isn't it? So let's have a look at the. I'll start and turn that floor area there for a start. That's quite dark, and let's bring this down and brown because it's actually browner in there, and this floor area underneath here is darker than I've got it at the moment, quite a bit darker. So it must be quite late at night actually for you, Zero. If it's time is it for me here? It's 12 minutes past 3 here, so I'm guessing it must be near the bedtime for you. Hello, Danny. At last we end up online at the same time as each other. I'm guessing it's late morning. Sort of 10-ish, around that for you in Georgia. Hey, that was a good guess, wasn't it? I did wonder if we were ever going to end up online at the same time. But so it's the thing when you've got the time difference. I am jealous of your beautiful day in Georgia. I tell you, it's grey, and autumn, or as you call it, fall, is well and truly setting in over here at the moment. I've got outside the window here, there are some very tall oak trees, and they are turning gold, and it won't be long before I'm outside with the leaf blower cleaning all the leaves up as they just fall everywhere. That's better. That's better. It was too light before. That's much better. Let me just drag this over a little bit for you. That's probably better. That's probably better. There we go. It's a bit wobbly because in this new system that I'm having to work in here in the room that I'm working in at the moment, we're very much we're very much working in an even more Heath Robinson way than we were before. But the actual boom arm that the overhead camera is placed on is connected to a shelf that is connected to the back of the table. So every time I touch the table, it wobbles slightly, which is a little bit irritating, I know. But I hope it doesn't make you too seasick. So, Danny, are you happy with the way the painting's going? I hope so. For anybody that's watching that has been watching this, this is Danny's painting. This is will be when it's completed eventually, and it's turned into a bit of a marathon, as I said before. But when it's completed, it will be on its way across the water, all the way to Georgia, and will end up on Danny's wall. So I'm glad you like it. I'm sorry it's taking so long. It's just been one calamity after another, as I've said before. But we get there in the end. Always get there in the end. So I guess you've been watching some of the recordings of the earlier streaming sessions. So you've since I've been back online, at least you have been able to catch up on the way things are going, Danny. You can fill me in a little bit actually, because I've been wondering about when it comes to this painting. Where do you actually live near to Musella? Is Musella sort of close to where you live? And am I pronouncing it right? You never know whether these things, whether you're pronouncing them right until somebody says. We have places close to where I live here at the moment that they're written in one way, but they don't get pronounced that way. There's a place not far away called it's spelt Wybunbury, but it's pronounced Winbury. Yeah. Oh, oh dear. Tell me about it. I've had so many internet problems this past few weeks. But luckily, moving into this room seems to have solved them for me. I've got those kind of power blocks that you plug into the electricity supply in the house, and they send your Ethernet signal through the electric in the house, which have been working perfectly fine up until around about a month or so ago, where we went to visit my daughter in Leeds for the day, and we came home and the power had been off while we were away, and since then I have not been able to get the power blocks to give a good signal. They'll work for 3/4 of an hour maybe, and then all of a sudden they just stop, and it's very, very frustrating, believe me. Right. Well, that's good. You never know with these things. They can end up with pronouncing things, and people are in the know go, "You're saying it wrong. Stop saying it wrong." You know. This happens all the time with Google Maps. You know, when you're using it as a sat nav. I use it all the time as a sat nav, and there's a road just down, not far away. That's it. And it's basically the bypass to Nantwich, which is where well, it's about 2 miles away from where I live, to be honest. But the sign on the road says it's the Basford, Basford, Basford Hough Shawington bypass. And every time I go on it, the sat nav says the Basford Hough Shawington bypass, and every time it irritates me, but hey. That's it. So where you live, Danny, is it? Are you still out in the small town America like this place? I looked it up, and it is looks very typical of what I would consider as small town America. Very small population. Or are you in the city? Oh, yeah, that's. I think the population of Musella was something like less than 2,000 people or something, wasn't it? So it's sort of what we call a medium sort of town, I suppose. Oh right, yeah, that's what they can. They don't realise, do they? When well, I don't know. Maybe they do realise and they don't care. But sometimes when they build these highways and everything, the the detrimental effect it actually has on small towns and industry and that sort of thing. I mean I was born in a city. It's not a huge city, but a city um, not too far away from here, called Stoke-on-Trent. What they in Stoke-on-Trent was very famous for about 250 years as the world's centre of pottery manufacture and that sort of thing. I mean, it's all gone now. There's still a few pottery factories left, but most of it is now being globalised and butchered and all that sort of thing. But the town that I live in was actually the city centre, Hanley, it's called. Um, but when I was young, our street, which was really right in the middle of the town, we were the only house in the centre of town. Really, we were surrounded by shops. Um, but it was you'd walk out of our house, walk down to the corner of the street, round the corner, and you were in the main shopping street. And our street itself had, it had clothes shops, and we lived next door to a fishing tackle shop and a gun shop. It was part of the centre of town, but all of a sudden, one year they created a one-way system in town and more or less closed all the businesses in that area down overnight. They stopped people being able to park in the street, and the area just went just by that simple thing. Oh right. Oh, so Musella is known for its peaches. Is that right? Oh gosh. It just looks. I saw this picture, and to me, it just said small town America, and that's what appealed to me so much about it. It's like a world that is no longer there. And this is, or it's fading, disappearing bit by bit. And bit I missed here. Just catch up on it. From there to there, that's quite straight. There we go. This is the sort of town that I've seen on films and everything and TV shows from America all my life, and I just thought it was so typical, and I just loved it. It's a beautiful image. I have to say, yeah, I actually, one of the wonderful things about modern technology, I suppose, of course, is I actually just went onto Google Maps and had a walk around Musella on Google Maps. And I found this place easily. And you can see it, walk around it, see it from all different angles, and see where it's situated. Because you get a scene from a photograph, and you only see one, you only see what's in the box, and you've got no idea what's across the street or what's around it. And I think sometimes it helps just to have in your head the setting of the place that you're working on. And it was good. It was great. It really reinforced that whole small town America feel for me. The only place that I've ever been to that was right. Yeah, the only place I've ever been to that was in any way like this was my brother and I. He lives in Texas, and I went to stay with him for a couple of weeks, years ago, back in 1993, and we drove. The first weekend I was there, we drove to San Antonio along the interstate, and we pulled off the interstate for some lunch at a a small town just off the was it the I-10 or something? I think it was the I-10 maybe, called Flatonia. Population 1,200 and something, and it was just like walking into an episode of The Twilight Zone or something like that. It was just so everything that you would imagine a small town in America should be. You know, there was, as we walked in and pulled up to there was the strip of shops, and there was a raised porchway outside the shop, and there's a guy outside there with his brush and his hand sweeping the floor in front of his shop, and you know, it was just exactly what you would have expected if it was just a scene from a film or something. That's good, that's it. We're getting there. Alright, we'll leave the rest of down here until we come to work on Lulu. It's so nice to get a photograph of a VW in a great setting. I've done, well, you've probably seen most of my VW paintings online or on my website or whatever, and they're all fairly small, so they're all in a very small sort of area, or a small setting around the VW. But this is expansive, and I'm loving it, to be honest. Part of me thinks it's a shame that I'm sending it to you. I could happily hang this one on my own wall, I tell you. It's in fact, I like this so much that if I was to, if it wasn't flying over the ocean, this is a painting that I would definitely enter for exhibitions, for competition exhibitions, competitive exhibitions, because I think this would stand a good chance of getting in. Do you still own Lulu? Is she still a part of the family, or is it a VW owned in the past or whatever? All right. Yeah, my brother lives in. Well, I think he still lives. He did for a long time live in Houston. That was where he lived when I went to stay with him. I know he's lived for a while up in Fort Worth as well. Ah, you were in Houston too. He lived, oh gosh, where was it? Where was it? It wasn't far off one of the main roads called, was it Westheimer? It was only a few couple of streets off Westheimer. We used to go, he took me a few nights. The place I remember more than anything is he took me a few nights to a western bar called the Post Oak Ranch. it was called, and we used to go there. And they did this amazing thing. You go there early in the evening to the Post Oak Ranch, and once you got in there, there'd be this like buffet of really wonderful food laid out, and each night it'd be different. Sometimes it'd be chicken, sometimes it'd be steak, whatever, and it was all free. And you could just go up, get yourself a plate of this fantastic food. Amazing. I mean, that's one thing. That is one thing that you do in the USA that I think is just stunning. The quality of the food that you get and the portions that you get of food over there are just mind-blowing. We used to go, we went while I was there a few times to the IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, for a stack of pancakes. I mean, I love pancakes, but my brother would take me all these different places, and when I took my son, oh God, when would it be? It'd be nearly 10 years ago now. I took my son for a week almost to New York, and we stayed in New York. And as before I went over there, I was saying to him, we have got to find an IHOP. We've got to go to the IHOP and have pancakes in an IHOP. And I looked in New York, and there was on the whole of Manhattan, there was one IHOP, and it was way up north in oh gosh, this is old brain letting me down a minute here. It was way up north in Harlem. Couldn't take for a moment. Brain froze. Yeah, it was up in Harlem. It was the only one in Manhattan, and so we got on the A train in New York, the two of us, and we made our way up to Harlem, and we had to walk through the streets for a while, which of course was very different to where we'd been staying in New York. Harlem is, we'd been surrounded by skyscrapers and everything, and of course Harlem was totally different. Harlem's brownstones and a lot lower. There's no skyscrapers or anything. It was quite an experience to go that part of town, and we found this IHOP, but it was worth travelling to, I tell you. We sat down and ordered a stack of pancakes each, and we got the hot syrups at the side of us, and the woman said to us, you know, if you want more, just say the stack of pancakes is refillable and doesn't cost you any more. And it was wonderful. Oh, we're getting there. Okay, Johnny, well, if you're still there, it's great that you dropped in. I shall be here for, probably at least another half an hour, maybe longer. Can't do too long sessions at the moment because my back still isn't brilliant. But so I'm trying to keep the sessions a little bit shorter. anybody else is watching and would like to say hello, feel free. It's really nice when people are, when I'm not alone, sitting here in the room, putting paint on all on my own. So please feel free to say hi. Especially if you're in some exotic part of the world, I do like that a lot. That's nice. That's nice, I like that. So that's where we're at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can just move this out of the way for a moment. And I just want to add something here. If you bear with me for a moment. Okay. I think you can just see the picture on the screen there for a minute. I just want to add something. And just see if that works. Because let's make a few changes here. I just need to there we go. Made it too big now. You shouldn't have to see me messing about like this, but hey, I just want to make sure that people realise that I am still streaming. I do have to just leave the room for a minute or two, and so with that message put there, you will realise that I will be back very, very shortly. I've just got to just stretch my legs. And I will be back with you very, very quickly. Oh, thank you for your patience. I am now back. Sorry to leave you for a minute to do that. But let's get this back to the... that's better. Now we can see where we're at. It's interesting, the picture that you see on your screen will not necessarily be exactly the same as what I'm seeing on my table in front of me, or even what I'm seeing on my screen. I have mentioned this many times, I know. And if you have been following me since I've been streaming live, you will have heard me say it before. But the nature of electronics is that, well, tell you where you will have seen it. You will have seen it when you've gone into a large store that sells a lot of TVs, and they put all the TVs on at the same time on a big wall of TVs. And if you look closely at them, you'll find that every one of those TVs is slightly different. It's slightly different tones, slightly different colours and that sort of thing. And that is the nature of electronics. The screen that I have in front of me here is running Mac OS. We're looking at a Mac. If I look at it on my phone, which is running Android, it looks totally different. If you look at it on an iPhone, it probably looks very similar to this. If you look at it on a Windows PC, it is again going to be a different colour. And you might have noticed, if you ever used multiple monitors, that you have to do a lot of adjusting to get the colouring on the monitors to look the same on all the monitors. So I have to trust that whatever you are looking at this on is going to is giving you a similar picture to what I'm painting, if nothing else. It's one reason that I can guarantee any of my customers that when they get the actual painting arriving at their home, wherever they are in the world, and I paint and sell my works literally anywhere in the world. I've got paintings in the USA, I've got a lot of paintings in the USA, I've got paintings in Australia, I've got paintings in Alaska, which I know, before anybody says, is part of the USA, but it's that big bit up top of Canada. It's a big long way away. So, I've got paintings all over the place, which is lovely. I mean, it's great. I love it. I'm not really sure what this box outside the store is doing there, but it's quite characteristic, so I presume it has a purpose, so I want to portray it as is. Might be important, I don't know. I can't imagine what goes in it, actually, but But right, I'm just basically trying to work my way around the whole image, really. Just concentrating a bit at a time on what I can see, and that alone, really, depicting the image as I see it, and it won't be 100% the same as the photograph. If it was 100% the same as the photograph, it would be the photograph, and what would be the point of me painting it? It's my interpretation of the scene in front of me, and whether that scene is on a photograph or whether that scene is there in front of me with the wind blowing through it and all the rest of it makes no difference to me whatsoever. The skill, as far as I'm concerned, the art of the whole thing is basically and I tell people this when they ask me how I do it and how they can learn to do this sort of thing. And the answer I give is it takes time, but seriously more than technique, because I can teach technique easily. I can teach technique quickly. Technique is just a physics, really. And knowledge. You acquire a knowledge of ways to apply paint, ways to do things. You get used to your particular paint box and to the colours that you and how the colours mix. You get used to all those sort of things. But the biggest thing that as an artist sets you apart from other people is that you learn to see things that other people don't see in a way that other people don't see them. And that skill of seeing, that skill of looking and seeing, that takes time to acquire, and that takes practice. That takes training your eye, training your mind. Yep, training yourself to see what's really there. And that's a duty, that is. Hello, Raj. I've not seen you for ages. Do you know, I was sort of working on it, and then I ended up being offline for a month because I had internet problems, and I've still not worked out how to do it, because I set my streams up with a program called Restream, and it allows me to set up, well, I set up 4 streams at once. I set up with Restream, I set up Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and Twitch. Now every one of them works slightly differently, and but I'm setting them all up simultaneously with Restream, and I thought I'd done it with Twitch. I really thought I'd achieved it with Twitch, and then it turns out that I have to set it up individually from the other streams each time, and I haven't yet worked out how to do that, and I'm sure if I would work out how to do it, it would make a huge difference, but as yet I've not cracked that one. do. So we're getting there. We are indeed getting there. Well, are you saying I can do that while it's streaming? And I have to do it while it's streaming, which will mean me... right, hold on, let me try it. I can bring my browser up on the screen. Well, you will still see the painting. You should still see the painting now, but I'm in my browser. So if I go to Twitch, let's see if it works. Okay. I am now in Twitch. And it says here that Dosa Guy is offline. But you're not offline, you are online. I can see you're online. Okay, let me see. Alright, I am so unfamiliar with Twitch. Okay, there's my account. I think I am signed in, so I'll go up to my account there and click settings. Profile settings. And it doesn't say anything about tags. Channel and videos, is that it? Hold on, we're getting there, I think. Stream, if I click on stream. Let's clip settings, with settings, permissions, raids, allow all raids. I can't see. Oh, stream manager though, it says, I see it. Okay, I found it. I found it. Stream manager. Edit stream info. Do I have to do this every time I stream? Okay. It's showing everything there. Tags. We've got English, we've got creative. Okay. I can have art commissions. I can have traditional art. Traditional art. Painting. Oh. Painting. There's a British tag as well, is there? There we go. I have added there. If I click done, I should now have tags. Do I have tags? You will know better than me. It's actually not a bad idea having this on the screen, to be honest, thinking about it. There are so many things to think about, aren't there, with all this? Hey! So every time I stream, I have to go and set those tags up every time. Is that right? There's no way of just keeping them, which would be nice. Alright, back to OBS. And we should be cooking. Oh, there we go. Well, now I know what I'm doing. It'll be a lot quicker each time, won't it? But, so, tell me. Big question. What time is it in your part of the world? Is it Bangalore? Is it you that's in Bangalore? Not far off, but a little bit. There's a touch of yellow to it. Maybe that's too much yellow. Hey, I'm remembering this. Tell I haven't got many followers yet, can't you? Because I'm remembering people's names. Oh, it's not that late then. I thought it'd be later than that. It's all right. It is now back to some semblance of, no, that's totally the wrong colour. Some semblance of normality. I've had a period of calamity after calamity. With my internet connection in the studio that I've been working in before just letting me down totally, and that lasted for a month, so I wasn't able to stream for a month till I solved the problem, which I haven't really solved. I've solved it by moving to another room and setting everything up in another room. Of course, I think you probably saw, I don't know whether you saw actually, I think you probably saw on, you follow me on Instagram I think as well, don't you? You probably noticed on Instagram that my back went, which was a literal absolute pain, totally, which rather spoilt everything for another couple of weeks. So it's been a bit of a upsy downsy time, but fingers crossed, I am now up and running and streaming, and I think the quality of the stream is probably better than it was when I was in the other studio. So it's probably better there, and in a way I'm more comfortable in here. There's much more space. This is the room that I have used for a long time as as my music studio. So it's set up rather odd. I don't know whether you saw the stream I did the other day, that where I got a mobile camera going and I walked around the room at the beginning of it and showed everybody how different the setup was, because I'm surrounded by audio monitors and keyboards and guitars and all the rest of it. So it's a little different. But it's working. Where there's a will, there's a way, as they say. I'm mainly a guitarist. As a guitarist, I'm pretty much play bass as well. At least I play bass on my own tracks. I don't really play bass live. I've only done that once. But if it's guitar shaped, I can generally play it. I play keyboards a bit. I play keyboards enough to be able to put, you know, organ tracks and synthesizer tracks and things like that behind my on my compositions. Play harmonica, blues harp, you know, play the blues. It was always my big thing. I've had spent quite a lot of time playing and singing and blues bands. So, I mean, music is one of my main things, really. I've actually, that's what my PhD's in music, or music technology, really. The devil's music, is that what's that supposed to indicate there? I have actually streamed, when I was in the other studio, I did stream some of my music a few times while I was actually painting. And people were very kind, which is very nice. In fact, the other day when I was having a bit of a break, I actually picked up and played the guitar live, which was rather nice, just for a couple of minutes. Get a bit of everything on this channel, matey, I tell you. You'll have to let that settle for a minute too. dirty lot. uh, there we go. Just to prove that I'm not lying. There we go. Let's get a bit of that. Weekend karaoke session. Only trouble is that there's a time delay between you and me. Of probably about 15 seconds, something like that. There is software around that would allow me to actually overcome that, having said that. That syncs everybody up together, which is rather good. So what's the weather like in Bangalore at the moment then? You were in the, last time I spoke to you, which was probably about a month ago, thinking about it, you were in the middle of the monsoon season, if I remember rightly. There you go. We are getting there. It's still rainy. Well, actually, this it's now, what time is it? It's now just gone 4:30 in the afternoon, and the evening sun's come out, which is absolutely lovely. It's been rainy here for a few days, and it was quite miserable earlier on when I sat down and I started this stream. It was a bit grey, but outside the window at the moment, it's rather lovely. I've got these big oak trees outside the window across the road, and the leaves are starting to turn gold on them, and at the moment the evening sun is shining through them and it looks rather nice. Pardon me, but this is the beginning of our autumn. I don't know what you would recognise it as autumn or as fall. I know the American version is fall. So it won't be long before we're in winter, which I don't look forward to. Ooh, if I just get this bit done here, and let it dry, and then take off the masking. Oh, let's see in here. topless, new too spicy. What was that then? Okay, let me see. Let's see. Oh, I realise what you've just done. Okay. Yeah, I forget that you can do that on Twitch. Oh, we jumped then. We just got the first bit of it. Very funny. I must remember to face in a different direction if I play the guitar, and showing off my bald head in that position. Don't like that. Very good, very funny. I forgot you can do that. That's actually the way I made some of my stop motion videos, because I realised that I could just take clips out and then speed them up, and it sort of works really. I don't know. That's playing live. Playing live music should be gone and disappear into the ether. You want it to stick around, you record it so you can make sure it's spot on. I mean, that was my thing. My PhD is actually in music technology, and I've taught recording and music production, that sort of thing. That's been the main thing that I've taught at university. So, but getting a job doing that full time is like rocking a horse. He said something rude then, but you know what I mean. It really is. So I'm here painting and starving to death. There we go. Really need to make this pay soon somehow. Okie dokie. Right. I'm aware that quite a bit of this looks a bit messy at the moment, but that is because the masking fluid is still in place. So in a little while, once I've covered all this and the paper is dry, I shall start taking off the masking fluid. And then just tidying everything up a little bit. what's masking fluid? There you go. That is. How am I doing it? Hold it the right way around, Stephen. It's the one above. There we are. That's masking fluid. Artist White Mask. It's basically latex in a liquid form. That's basically I apply it to areas that are either plain white paper that I want to keep white, or that I've put a wash over and I want to retain that colour, and then I can paint much more freely over the top of the fluid, and it will retain the what's underneath. So at the moment, all the lines that you can see here, that's all masking fluid. As is here, the checkerboard here, that's all masking fluid. This has got masking fluid on it. There's masking fluid in little bits here and there. If you see here on this petrol pump, there's actually a white line that's a reflection line that goes across the glass, and that's masking fluid. If I just give it a scratch with my finger, take the masking fluid off, take the latex off, and there's the line. It's just a method of keeping the. Oh, I just noticed that didn't. So go across the centre of this pump. There we go. Pardon me. It's all little things, little wrangles, little tricks that you can use to make it easier, I suppose, really. I can do things with masking fluid, and then makes it a lot easier than if I was just painting things in. For example, in one of the videos that I streamed, it might be the last one I streamed or the one before, can't remember. It's either the last one or the one before. I painted the watermelons that you can see down here, and rather than paint in all those individual lines and all the rest of it, what I did is, if you go back and have a look at it, it's right at the beginning of the video, is I put masking fluid on where the light green and the yellow are, and then I painted the whole thing over the top of that, took the masking fluid off and just titivated a bit, and it was a lot easier to paint watermelons that way. Get a bit of the yeah, it makes life a lot easier. You will see if you, probably tomorrow or sometime soon, probably tomorrow, you'll see me do the ground here, and the ground actually is, this part of it is a load of stones, and by using masking fluid and a toothbrush I can create loads of stones down here quite a lot easier than if I was trying to paint them, and much more convincing than if I was trying to paint them. There we are, that works. That works. Oh yeah, I've had a go at that. I didn't do a portrait. I did a landscape. Don't know. I can't remember whether I videoed it and put it on YouTube. But I did a small landscape using the Zorn palette. It's an odd thing. I mean, you're basically restricting your palette, which is what I tend to do anyway. I mean, I've got goodness knows how many colours at my disposal here, but I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. To do all the work that you can see here that's in me today, I've just used 5 colours. Let's just pop a bit of tone over there. This down here, whether I'll be able to get it to look anything like. This down here is a dog lying down on the porch, but you can't see much of it. Do you know, I don't know. I mean, the Zorn one's quite famous because he did so many portraits and things using it, and it's become a thing that people do. I mean, literally, it's just, what, it's 4 colours or 5 colours, the Zorn palette. I can't remember now off the top of my head. So you could actually make any, you could do any combination, really, of colours, as long as you can make it work. I mean, I suppose this area it's like a Zorn palette. It's a restricted palette that every colour is made from just 5 different colours. So I mean, what have I used? I've used cyanine blue. I've used a tiny touch of transparent yellow, just a little bit. I've used alizarin crimson for the reds and things. A colour called rose doré, and Payne's grey, burnt umber maybe here and there, but basically that's it. That now, a bit down the bottom here, it's getting there. I wonder. Bear with me a minute. Let's have a little look. Where's my... Oh, I moved it, didn't I? There it is. Google Photos. See if I can find it. How's that? Where's the little picture there? Yeah, sort of. I mean, a lot of the paintings that I do could almost be considered miniatures. A lot of them are like 5 inches by 7 inches. I know that's not tiny, but it is when you're talking about, comparing it to this. When I very first started out, I would... where is it? It's here somewhere. When I very first started out, I would... I tried all sorts of things, and one of the things that I tried was painting on... I say that's too big. It needs to be smaller than that. One of the things that I tried was Yeah, I know what to do. One of the things that I tried was painting on eggs. And I would blow the contents of the egg out, and then I would basically paint miniatures on eggs. Ah, you're wondering what I'm looking for? I'll show you. Hold on. Let me get back to my stream. What shall I put? I'll put it on. I'll put it on here. Add image. Okay. Browse. Give me 1 minute. Oh, that's the point where I put it. Move this over there a second. Dropbox. I'll paint your. Is it in here? Where's Lulu? Ah, here we go. There you go. Big. It's quite a small painting, so let's take it down to the size, closer to the size that it is. That's its own palette. It was right at the beginning of lockdown, and I thought I'd have a go with the Zorn palette one day, so I just put a tiny little canvas. This is only like, I think, 6 inches by 4 inches little canvas board, and I just had a go with the Zorn palette to see what I could do, and that's what I did. Oh, I love Andrew Wyeth. Yeah. There we go. But I mean, it didn't take long. It's only a little sketch, really. But it's a place in Wales called oh my goodness, it's gone straight out. Betsy Coed, called Betsy Coed, and this is the river comes under a bridge here, and there was a heck of a lot of rain fell in the previous couple of days, and everywhere was flooded, and this river was in total spate. It was really rushing, and this is painted, this is just by the side of the bridge, and this is the water rushing away in front of me there, but anyway, I thought you'd like to see that, as you wanted to see about the Zorn. You were wondering about the Zorn palette. Meanwhile, where am I? Right, I am at the stage now, I think, where I'm ready to take off. The masking in this area, and it's now going to go even weirder as the masking comes off, because there'll be a lot of white lines everywhere, and a lot of those white lines are not going to be white. They're going to be coloured, and there's going to be a lot of tone brought in under here to put the shadow in. Oh, I haven't put that in yet, but it doesn't matter. We'll just take the latex off. Oh, 3D printed miniatures. No, I don't even know what we're talking about there, to be perfectly honest. You're on about miniature figures? Oh, right, yeah. I think that'd drive me mad, to be honest. It's funny actually because the place I was talking about it earlier on before you came online. The place that I am from originally in England is a place called Stoke-on-Trent, which is known over here as the Potteries, because for over 250 years it was the world's centre for pottery manufacture. And one of the prime jobs in the pottery industry in the past was a job known as the Freehand Painter, or the Freehand Paintress. It was a woman, and basically they would sit all day. Very skilled painters, painting figurines, or plates and that sort of thing. But a lot of times sitting and painting figures, which is basically the sort of thing that you're talking about there. Don't ask me what this board is. I have no idea, but it looks exactly pretty much like that on the photograph. So who is that picture that what is that? That thing that you keep putting on the screen there. I've no idea who that might be. There we go. I think that is it for this session. It's been quite a long session actually. I think I've been on for over 2 hours. I think this has been about 2.25 hours. I know what an emoji is. I'm not daft, but what is that emoji supposed to be? I can see a man. Is he pulling on his bottom lip or something? I don't know what that means. Oh, that's a lol, is it? Ah, right. Yeah, I know what lol is. Oh, right. Okay. Not seen that one before. Oh, right. Lol, not lol. Which is strange because lol stands for laugh out loud, doesn't it? Laughing out loud. So L-U-L, laughing up loud? I have no idea. But whatever, I get that. Okay. These are Twitch emojis, are they, by the looks of it? There we go. That'll do. Same here. Let's just. There we go. Oh, right. Okay. Well, I think that's me done for the minute. Oh, hold on, shut that. No, I'm not going to stop until I've done that sign up the top. Let's get that sign in. Until this sign is in, it's not complete up here. Be very careful when you're working with the latex not to leave any on the painting when you're finishing the painting, because you don't end up getting framed and there'll still be a lump of latex on it. Well, thank you. It's been lovely talking to you again. Bob Ross, Bob Ross emoji. What did you type to get that, Bob? Uh, uh, it's been nice talking to you again, Raj, and I will see you again very soon. Have a good evening. So, anybody else who is out there watching live, or anybody who is watching this stream in the future, as is the way of the world, on YouTube or on Facebook or Twitch or on Twitter. That's it for this afternoon. I shall be back online tomorrow to start work actually on Lulu herself and put the post in, of course, and get it all finished and get it on its way to Georgia, out to Danny in Georgia. So it will have to do a journey of about 3,000 miles or so. Anyway, thanks again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Cheers. Bye bye.